Hey guys, welcome to Night Owls, and Sasha's got her. Why don't you show everyone what you got?
Oh, it's just a switch.
She got a Switch, just a Switch. You've been. It seems like you said it's a lot of fun. I haven't played it yet. I got to
It
try
is.
that.
I got one on Black Friday, pretty good deal. So,
A Switch is kind of like a Game Boy, but super fancier.
well, you can plug it up to the TV and everything too.
Oh, really?
But I want to be able to just take it with me and
What game have you been playing?
the new Mario. I don't know which one it's
Is
called.
it is it like the others basically, or
It's 3D.
is
That's
it?
like it's different than the old ones.
Yeah, I think I like a lot of people. The very first Mario Brothers in 1985, I remember that. Was that Super Mario Brothers?
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
that was a
way
lot of
better than
fun.
that. Like,
What?
I said this one's way better than
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I'd
And don't get me
imagine after
wrong,
all
I
those
like
years.
that one too, but the new
Yeah,
ones are really fun.
I
They can do
know.
so much more with the technology now.
I know. I got some computer games I'm going to put on my Christmas
Mm.
list. So
It gets addictive though.
it really does. And guys, thank you for being here. This is Thanksgiving weekend, so a little different schedule. I was planning to stream yesterday, but we had our Thanksgiving dinner with Brandon, and it went a little late, and I didn't do any prep, so I thought, hey, it's Thanksgiving.
Right, you don't have to work every single day.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Vlad Art, it's good to see you. So I decided we'll just stream tonight, and we might cover some stories, but it's just more of the night owls thing, a little bit more informal. And I got the space heater on. It's been really cold here
It has. Arkansas.
well, it's not only in Arkansas. I saw there's like a cold front going all over the place. It's just really, it's
Well, I
crazy.
feel like we got gypped. We didn't even really get fall. We went from it was hot in the 90s until in mid October.
Yeah.
And then we got a couple weeks of nice weather and now it's cold.
We did a really fast switch. We had an Indian summer. Is that what they call it now, or is that politically incorrect? But Native
It's probably
America summer.
it's probably too it's probably not
Is
PC.
it incorrect to say Indian giver?
Probably. I'm
Yes.
sure all that's problematic.
Probably. I don't really care, but we had an Indian summers a little bit late, and then it just went. You're right. It went from there to really kind of cold. So it's been pretty cold. This whole week is supposed to be cold. So, but it's that time of year, almost December. It's really crazy how everything is gone. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about. And thank you guys if you're new here. We're both on YouTube, Rumble, and X. And we appreciate your comments or questions. I have Power Chats up. You see the link below. YouTube has Super Chats. Rumble has rants. And Stream Elements, they have a tip feature. So I do appreciate that, guys, and thank you very much for your support. And a note about the roundtable: we used to have some roundtables on Friday, but now we will do it Sunday night. So every Sunday we do the roundtable. We just alternate it between Sunday at noon and then Sunday at 7 p.m. because the noon one is better for the Europeans. So we kind of do that. So if you want to be part of the roundtable, they're a lot of fun. Join the Gumroad or subscribe to me on X, and we can do that. Oh, we got one Iran already. You want to read it, Sasha?
Sure. Thank you, Wanga Bonga from Tonga. A video leaked of Destiny, the lefty streamer literally sucking dick. Some speculation the other guy might be Nick Fuentes. There will be some great memes to come from this, I'm sure. Well, is anybody really surprised?
Well,
Like, I'm
yeah,
not.
to be fair, wasn't Destiny pretty always up front that he was supposedly bisexual or
Yeah,
whatever?
there was some DMs a few months ago that were leaked that they played on Kino Casino,
Mm-hmm.
where he was talking to some woman about like
Mm-hmm.
all the stuff he would do, and there was men involved, and it was pretty gross. I won't say it on your show, but it was like disgusting,
Yeah, that's
degenerate.
something I heard. I guess on Kiwi Farms they have the video. But to be honest, I don't really like to see guys sucking someone else's dick.
I don't think most people do,
It's not my
unless
thing,
you're gay,
and
man.
it's not something I really want to get that in my brain.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to view it. It's just,
Well, there was rumors going around, or there was leaked DMs also that him and Lauren Southern had sex, because they were all buddy buddy.
it's interesting because I've talked to a lot of women. I think you might be this way, but the idea of having a sex with homosexuals is kind of gross, right?
It is gross.
So like a guy that was just sucking someone else's dick than you're doing him. And that's just like,
Gross.
yeah.
Let's change the subject.
We did meet
Yeah.
Destiny in person at the
Kinda. We
Kingpin.
saw him in person.
We saw him. We
didn't
didn't
actually meet
introduce
him.
ourselves.
He
but-
just was a douchebag and didn't speak to anyone the whole time.
And as Sasha said, he's not the most handsome man.
No, he's really short and really gross.
Yeah.
Like you saw those pictures of him with his shirt off at the beach. People always show those on X.
He's like a little elf or something,
yeah,
a troll.
that's an insult to elves and
No, it's not
trolls.
an elves. Elves are pretty. He's kind of like this gnome or something.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah, and for a while, Fuentes and him were like good buddies, and Fuentes was making goo goo eyes at him, just like,
Maybe that was him in the video. That would be so funny.
oh, I don't, yeah, I don't, we don't know that, so I'm not going to speculate.
We don't know.
I don't know, but I know Fuentes does not like women, so
Right. He likes
he
cat boys.
he has a issue with that, which is weird because a lot of gay men, like you said, you had a gay friend you used to hang out with and stuff, shop and all
Which
that.
one?
Mosca.
Oh, well, I have multiple, or did when I was younger.
And they usually don't hate women.
No.
So it's kind of, there's sort of
That's
weird
like
pathology.
Silence of the Lambs tier shit.
It is.
Like these guys that makes me think of Buffalo Bill.
Mm-hmm. It's well, they were really going on that. Let me just see if I had this. They had this whole let me see. Have you heard about the whole wife jack thing?
You told me about it.
I guess it got a lot of those gripers really mad.
I don't even understand why or what it is, really.
It's dumb. It's just a kind of a corny meme about some, I've showed you the soy jack. And I like Stone Toss. He did a kind of a good comic about this. Let me just bring this up. I'll show you. And I don't really get it if people are supposed to be like pearl white. This save the white race. And then there's a man and a woman and his kid, and he's really unhappy.
Yeah.
And that's the way the groupers are. Like if Nick sees a white woman with a man, he gets really mad.
I saw that video where he was complaining about straight people. And
Yeah.
he was like, fuck straight people. I mean, we're straight too.
Yeah, I know, that was hilarious.
He was talking about him and somebody else, I think. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, it just seems strange, though, that you would be, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You should want white people to get together and have families and marry, but I guess, he believes that it's okay to marry and have kids, but you just have to have sex at the bare minimum, just to have kids. And you shouldn't love your wife. He's big on that,
Yeah.
because that's simpy. Although I don't understand how you reconcile that with the Bible, the New Testament. The Apostle Paul says that husbands are supposed to love their wives like Christ loved the church. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't
know.
really understand this whole the true white identity is watching Euphoria and Catboys, and
Yeah.
it just
'cause
seems
it's
like a
not.
strange. It's gotten into a really weird place about that. So I didn't want to make this about Nick, but
Good.
because that came up about Destiny, because I think that was one of the people
They're
Nick
both
said the hots
nasty
for.
little hobbits.
It is funny how these e-celebrities end up with the same people. You think you could do better than Destiny.
You'd think. Especially Lauren Southern. What was she thinking? And according to that thing, she turned on Paul Joseph Watson. So it's like you slept with Destiny, but you didn't want to sleep with Paul Joseph. Sorry, Paul Joseph Watson's way better looking and I don't think he's gay either.
Yeah, we should say that's alleged, but it looks pretty good, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I am tired. I've been off work since well, I actually went in on Saturday. So technically Friday, but I went on Saturday. For a week I've been off work. And my whole week has been nothing but running errands and doing chores. Except for some time yesterday, I got to play the Switch.
Well, Sasha, during the holidays, like I think a lot of women, they keep really busy and they're doing everything. And it's double busy for us because Sasha's got a deadline coming up of moving into my place, or our place, in a couple months.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to clean the clothes. My dad had a bunch of clothes, and his sister that passed away a few years ago, she bought him all these clothes from outlet stores, so he has tons of clothes. And so I've been trying to wash them because at the apartment, I don't pay for water. And so, and a lot of the stuff's messy and dirty, and so it's like I'd rather dirty the dirty apartment than dirty the nice house.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to clean everything, and I've been making trips to Goodwill, and it's just a lot. And then I made pie for Thanksgiving, and then we ended up having Thanksgiving here because a friend of mine gave us a turkey, and so
It was good. It was a smoked turkey, and they already cooked it, so we just had to reheat it.
yeah, so it's been like nonstop go 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 type break, like
It,
cleaning and
it has
put the
definitely.
tree up today, and that took forever. And I went to the movies this morning, and then I have something planned Sunday for Paul for Christmas, and then I have to go back to my dad's, and then that's a day gone. Oh, and then I'm gonna go see Moana too. I got tickets for that.
I guess we should say Sasha saw today with Mosca, Wicked.
Yeah,
Want to talk about that?
yeah, and we both loved it. Like it was better than we thought. We both kind of were just like, yeah. We were planning to go in it and just trash it and do a video talking about how horrible it was.
Yeah.
It was the opposite. It was really, really good, and we both liked it. So
Was there any, because I was worried because the actress is black, was there a lot of woke stuff in it you picked up?
I
Or?
mean, there was like gay characters and stuff. They're not like openly, but there was this cute guy.
Yeah.
The Glinda character has the hots for. Well, so does the Wicked Witch. And these guys were kind of flirting with him, but it wasn't anything like, it was kind of funny. Like this guy's like, anything you want. And the guy was like, well, can you move out of the way?
Yeah.
And it was actually kind of funny, and the music was good. It had really good effects. We had to see it in 3D because almost all the showings were sold out unless you wanted to sit in the very front row. And we didn't want to do that. We did that with The Substance. Me and him saw that, and we had to sit in the front row. And it was a long movie, and this was a long movie. And it's like 2 hours, 40 minutes of your neck like this. So we decided not to. So we went and saw it in 3D. But it was really cool.
You want to read this one?
Yeah, thank you. Why was it considered the white man's burden to bring civilization to the uncivilized world?
Well, a lot of it, and you can answer next too, Sasha, but
Christianity.
I would say it's because of Christianity and the desire to bring people to Christ. And the Christians saw that the world lived in spiritual darkness because they engaged in cannibalism. And like in India, when like the husband would die, they would throw the wives on the
With the
funeral
husband,
pyre.
yeah.
Yeah, it was very barbaric. And so there was the idea of to try to civilize people so they would get out of the satanic, because that was considered, if you're not under the grace of Jesus Christ, you live very barbaric. And I guess no good deed goes unpunished because we get upset about it. But that's why it was considered the idea of civilization. And even recently, remember that controversy in Canada because those Christians, they created boarding schools for Indians that were orphans, and they took care of them. And there was a rumor that, oh, they're killing them all and mass graves. That turned out to be a hoax. But so in general, it's because they didn't hate the natives, but they loved them and they wanted to try to help them.
And so much for the thanks you get.
Yeah, I'm not as nice. I'm just like, let them be and do their own thing in their countries. I think we need our own countries. And I always bring this up because this one guy on X, he was posting some black, and he showed a really nice dressed black stone, like, this is how the white man wants us to dress and we shouldn't dress like this. I'm like, I don't really care. I just think we kind of are happy to be away from that. So whatever you want to dress in your country, or if you want to be in the jungle with your tribal outfit, I'm okay with that. And I think that's how a lot of people are. So thank you for that, Louis Barrow. Getting back to Wicked, Anthony Cumia, when we saw him, I think he said, didn't he said his girlfriend dragged him there to see it?
That was on a show. Oh, yeah, the play.
On the show, yeah, the play.
Yeah.
And he said it was mostly women and gay men that were kind of into that stuff.
Well, no, he said the only people that would go see this would be women and gays. Something along those lines, which is probably true. At the theater, it was like all like, from what I saw, I didn't look around at all the people, but there were a lot of women in there and Mosca. And I don't know if there's any other guys that were in it.
Well, our friend Brandon, he had no interest, and he goes a lot of movies.
Yeah, he said the reason he wouldn't go those because it's a musical. He doesn't like musicals, but then I listed like 10 musicals that he likes. And it was a good musical. It wasn't like I was like, oh, the music sucks. It wasn't like that horrible Beetlejuice play I saw where the songs really were terrible. Like this actually did have good songs.
Well,
And the women could actually really sing well.
The original was considered a musical too, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a Broadway play.
It's
based on the
musicals are
book.
one of those things that I think too that I wouldn't like, but then I think I did like the original Wizard of Oz. I
Yeah,
like Grease
me too.
and
Crybaby.
what?
Crybaby with Johnny Depp. You've seen Crybaby.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
What else were some musicals? Annie. You've never seen Annie though, have you?
No.
You should watch Annie. Annie's good. Brandon likes Annie too.
Was the Joker too a musical? I heard it was.
Yeah, it was, but I have no
that was
interest
supposed to
in
be
seeing
horrible.
that. Oh well, almost all the Disney cartoons were musicals. Little Mermaid.
Oh,
Beauty and
really?
the
Yeah, well, I
Beast,
guess you would. Yeah. So,
Snow White, Cinderella, The Rescue. Like all of them were musicals, pretty much. So yeah, as long as the music's good, like Meet Me in St. Louis, all the old MGM movies, a big chunk of those were musicals.
I guess Anthony Cumia, he's rich living in New York City. That had to be fun going down to the Broadway plays.
I would go to see all the plays, or at least a big chunk of them if I lived down there.
Yeah, I bet they're expensive, but
They are. Well, how they're
neat too.
expensive here.
Yeah.
But I try to go here. They get like off-Broadway stuff in Fayetteville. They get some good stuff. I got to see Beauty and the Beast. I wish that we would get Wicked. I've never seen that they've gotten Wicked or The Lion King. I'd like to see. War Horse was really good. That was one of my favorites. I saw Rockstar. That was really good. Or Rock of Ages. I'm sorry, Rock of Ages. That was good. The Beetlejuice that was the only play I ever saw there that I thought was just absolute trash. Like everything else was good, and I love the movie Beetlejuice, but man, the play was. Ugh.
Yeah, that's. Here we have a flashback. I had a couple things. I don't. You guys remember this?
She asked
Oh, let me plug this in here. Sorry about that, guys.
them not to show up.
Yes, I would do that. I mean, I think we're dealing with a serious enough situation right now that if there's an unvaccinated person, I would say, I'm very sorry, but not this time, maybe another time when this is all over.
I haven't forgive some of those people that took that advice, to be honest.
Yeah.
That was a crazy time. Remember, you weren't supposed to gather for Thanksgiving and all that. So, yeah, I think that was pretty bad.
It was. Screw those people.
Yeah, I did too. And it's interesting because there's always a meme of people fighting on Thanksgiving over politics, but well, we just had three of us. We all kind of agreed. I don't know if that's a real thing or not, or I don't.
I think it is if you're like family's different than you.
Yeah.
I was always lucky because most of my family kind of agree with us on most things. At least my dad's side of the family.
Mm-hmm.
I know like my sister's a dumb shitlib, and my grandmother was kind of strange. She was like an old school Democrat.
Right.
But then she watched shit like The View. And I would go over there and I'm like, how can you watch this? So I don't know. I think she was kind of a left wing too. She
Right.
said she grew up her conservative. Her parents were Republican, but then she married a guy that was a Democrat. But this was back in like the 50s. So it was like a Democrat was a little different in the 50s.
Yeah.
So
that's
I don't,
true.
because I had an uncle and he was a Democrat. And I don't think he would be anymore because he
Mhm.
wasn't for abortion and a lot of stuff. It was more about the working people back then that they pandered to.
Right.
And those people, but now they've kind of given those people up. So I don't think a lot of those older guys would be Democrats anymore.
Yeah, I think a lot of the old boomers that are still Democrats are because they just always been, and they always thought Democrats were like pro-working man,
Right.
Republicans party of the rich, all that nonsense.
Even though there's a lot of rich people on the left. of
Whereas now the
Democrats.
Democrats, at least a segment, they're composed of coalitions just like the Republicans, but they have a big coalition of the woke, the transgender, anti-white stuff. And I think that was a lot different than the old Democrats. And
Yeah, I
I
think
think that
so,
actually
too.
hurt them in this election because the woke faction got too much power in the party. And I think a lot of them are talking about that. And I don't know if you saw this, Sasha, it was kind of broke. Just in, Hillary Clinton sparked speculation she'll run for president in 2028. What are your thoughts about that?
No way. She's too old.
She'll be 81 then.
Yeah, they're not gonna, there's no way. And nobody wanted her before. Did you not get the hint? Remember she ran against Obama in the primaries? Remember that?
Yeah.
Back in the day, no one wanted her then. And then she ran against Trump, lost then. So why does she think this time she's going to win at 81 years old? There's no way. Especially if J.D. Vance is the candidate or somebody that Trump maybe... I would think it would be Vance. Because Trump can't run again.
Yeah, I think, although Trump trolled him, maybe if they love me so much, they'll change the rules.
Oh, it was just to try to get under their skin.
But it did work. It just got them all triggered.
He says he's never going to leave. And it's like he left before.
Yeah, I know. He just likes to kind of troll on that.
He does.
But, yeah, I don't see Hillary. To be honest, I even think Trump is a little old, and I don't want to get people mad at me, but I prefer younger people now that can actually think and are sharp. But Trump does have some good people like J.D. Vance and Elon Musk around him, so maybe that will help. Hopefully, because he's made some stinker picks too. So
Oh, big time. Every time I hear a pick, it seems like one's stinkier than the last. Like that COVID Karen. Why did they pick her? I don't get it. Like, what the hell are you doing, Trump?
well,
Like, what the hell?
and the cope I've heard is she's a surgeon general. That's not a very important.
So
position.
what? She shouldn't be in any
I
position.
know. I agree.
If
with
you did that stuff, no. You can't find somebody that wasn't into that stuff. I just hope it's not going to be all disappointing. But like I said, at least maybe he'll get the price of gas down, because that's all I really expected out of this. I'll be surprised if we get deportations.
I will. Well, I'll give you this. He's not even in office already, and he's already doing more policy than Biden did in the past 4 years. For example, did you hear that Trudeau's coming down, or did meet with him today from Canada?
I didn't hear that. I haven't been on X all day.
And the Sheinbaum, or whatever the president's name of Mexico, she agreed to stop the caravan because of the tariffs he was threatening.
Oh, really?
with them. And so that caravan has been stopped by the Mexican police.
Oh, good. But they're not even from Mexico, aren't they? From
No,
somewhere else?
right? Yeah, but
Why doesn't the Mexican lady send those assholes back to whatever shithole they're from? That's what I would do.
because she didn't give a shit, because they're going to America.
Right, but now that Trump's like, no, don't let those
yeah, if you
fuckers
do that,
cross.
we're going to put fucking tariffs on your country. And everyone's like, oh, you can't do that, Ove, that's hate. And then within a week, she bent the knee and said, okay, we'll break up this caravan. Trump said, oh, fabulous woman, I'm glad we came to it. So Trump's already. And now it was just broke today that Zelensky, he said that he's willing potentially to negotiate with Russia as long as they get to be part of NATO and Russia can temporarily keep some of the territory.
I thought that was the whole deal, though. Russia didn't want.
Well, yeah, that is a non-starter. But at least beforehand, Zelensky was saying, we're not going to negotiate until we get all our territory back, which is bullshit. But even Putin said that he's willing to negotiate, but they have a very different position. And the problem is, for negotiations, Russia's winning. So why would they have to do a lot of negotiations when that is the case? And I think I had that story up here. Let me just show you guys the story here. We'll just kind of go over this. Did I just see something? I thought I might have saw a. Okay, maybe I didn't see it. I thought I had.
Are you playing a video?
No, I'm not. I will be
Okay.
probably.
Oh, because I was going to go in there and grab some coffee if you don't care.
I'll go grab
Try
some
to
coffee.
wake
I'll
up a
play
little
the
bit. Do you
video
want
here
something?
for
I
people.
guess you're drinking wine.
Thank you. See you soon. All right. Well, Sasha gets coffee. We'll take a look at this video. This is Zelensky, what he's talking about here.
We begin this hour with breaking news. Volodymyr Zelensky has suggested that he's prepared to give up some parts of Ukraine to Russia for the time being.
Well, Crimea, Russia considers theirs all along, and the Donbass the same thing. So it's not going to be temporary. But that could be a face-saving type of thing.
So long as there is a ceasefire and his country is given NATO membership. The Ukrainian president was speaking.
He wants NATO membership, so we can, he thinks, force us into a war if there's another conflict with Russia.
To our chief correspondent, Stuart Ramsey, in his first interview
Ramsey
with the UK media since Donald Trump's election win. Mr. Trump has vowed to end the war in Ukraine and boasted that he could do so within 24 hours of coming to power. Well, in a moment, we'll speak live to Stuart Ramsey in Kyiv, as well as getting international reaction. But first, let's hear what President Zelensky had to say.
Well, one alternative, perhaps, again, this is reported from the United States, and it's fairly simple, really, is that Ukraine joins NATO, but Russia takes control and keeps the land that it has to date. Would that be a possibility?
Ніхто не пропонував нам бути в НАТО.
No one has offered us to be in NATO with just one part or another part of Ukraine.
Закінчити гарячу стадію.
That's for once.
Факт.
The fact is that it is a solution to stop the hot stage of the war, because we can just give the NATO membership to the part of Ukraine that is under our control.
Факт. Можна було б, ніхто не пропонував.
Yes, it could be possible, but no one offered.
Треба робити.
But the invitation must be given to Ukraine within its internationally recognized border.
Ви не можете давати тільки частині.
You can't give invitation to just one part of a country. Why? Because thus you would recognize that Ukraine is only that territory of Ukraine and the other one is Russia.
Тому я і сказав, юридично ми не маємо права.
So legally, by law, we have no right to recognize the occupied territory as territory of Russia.
І тут не можна помилятись.
And here we must not make any mistake.
Зупинити гарячу стадію війни.
But if we want to stop the hot stage of the war,
Зонтик, амбрелу.
we should take under NATO umbrella the territory of Ukraine that we have under our control.
Швидко. А далі
That's what we need to do fast. And then Ukraine can get back the other part of its territory diplomatically.
Yeah, well, that'll never happen. So what they're saying, Sasha, is Ukraine joins NATO, the part that's not under control by Russia, and then someday in the future they get their territory back through diplomacy. That's more I see as a face-saving thing because they'll never get it back.
Yeah.
But it'd be a way to stop the hostilities. And I think Trump may try to lift some of the sanctions against Russia if they agree to a ceasefire. Because one of the things that's kind of cool, if I was Trump, I would try to get, and Zelensky doesn't really have a choice, he's our puppet, we could get rid of him, is to just say, hey, we're going to stop the hostilities, let's just talk about it while we talk, and you can go back fighting later, but let's just stop right now. And I thought it'd be kind of cool. What Trump might do is, and I'm just throwing this out here, what if he was able, even before he's in office, because he's already kind of talking to them, to negotiate, let's say, a Christmas ceasefire. I think that'd be cool.
It would be.
And that'd be something like Trump, I think, would like to do because it's very symbolic. And supposedly, well, Putin and Russia, there's technically Christians. And most of Ukraine's Christian. Of course, Zelensky's Jewish, but most of they're Christian for the most part. So I would like to see a Christmas peace, because once you have a peace, maybe you can extend it and end the war, and we can end our financing to this thing. It's going to be difficult because you have a lot of psychos that want to endlessly fight forever in Ukraine to try to destroy Russia. So, we will see, but I hope that's what happens. So that will be good news on that, if we could get a ceasefire. And let me just check, make sure. Well, welcome back. You got your coffee?
Something, yeah.
Did we have another chat I missed or something?
I saw a green.
I think that's the one we already
read
did.
That.
So, okay, and here's this. All right, so I think we're all caught up. If you guys didn't morning, that's good. Let's see here. Here was Putin's comments that I thought was kind of interesting. Let's take a look at this about Trump. Putin realizes that, Trump likes to have his ass kissed, so he's being real nice.
Not by the fact,
Right,
probably just like me, you are amazed, not by the fact that absolutely uncivilized means had been used against Trump, all the way up to assassination attempts.
So he's talking about how there were assassination attempts against Trump, Putin.
Numerous assassination attempts. And I think he's not safe even now.
And so Putin is saying here he doesn't think Trump is safe even now.
Well, he's probably not.
He's got to have a lot of good security. He's got a lot of people that definitely want to kill him.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they tried twice.
I think he's got pretty damn good security now.
Yeah. Well, after they screwed up.
Yeah. He's got like the men now protecting him, not the diversity hires.
Not the fat woman.
Yeah, no, the fat woman's been reassigned. Maybe the fat woman could be reassigned to Biden or something. Or maybe like Sasha was asking me, does Jimmy Carter still have a Secret Service? And I'm like, he does, but how would you know if he died?
I know. I kind of feel sorry for him.
Yeah, supposedly he voted for Kamala, but I don't know how he
on.
did. He was they took the best photo they could of him, and he looked like someone in a casket. Did he?
You did.
It was horrible. And I felt bad for him too, just seeing him in that situation. And that reminded me, remember we saw that Reagan movie, and I was I saw an interview of the real Secret Service that after Reagan got out of office, he loved to ride horses, and they had to get a special Secret Service agent that understood horses so he could ride with them. But Reagan always liked to ride, but at the end he was getting Alzheimer's and he was having troubles. And so they had to give him the hard news because Nancy was crying because that was his love. And the Secret Service agent had to say, you know, we kind of had a rough ride here, Mr. President, and I don't think you had fun. And it was because he thought Reagan was a good horseman for years. But he was having troubles making rookie mistakes. So it was really poignant. And Reagan said, yeah, I think I understand, but let me have one last ride. So they did one last ride, and I thought that was pretty cool.
It was.
So that was like a Secret Service doing it with him.
The history of the United States has known many cases, but I think President Trump is a smart person and a cautious one, I hope. But what amazed me most, that in fighting him, not only Trump was subjected to humiliating court procedures, accusations, and so on, but
that was horrible, all those court accusations. Oh, another breaking news, guys, and Sasha, I don't know, I know you have been online, but did you see the Supreme Court of Georgia is expected to rule as early as tomorrow?
About the Trump thing?
To cancel that case, that Fannie.
I had heard that.
That was that black woman and her lover as a district. It was all bullshit. It was a typical DEI mess up. They couldn't even get the case right, you know, so... that's gonna. So that will resolve them all then. So that's really good news.
His family was attacked as well. His children was.
Yeah, did you see that? I had it's a prep that literally Melania Trump and Barron, they were debanked.
Yeah, she's talked about that in her book.
Yeah, it just came out again though. That is just outrageous. I think that should be illegal to debank people to their political views. And those fuckers that do that, the bank executives, they should have their ass in jail for that. So I hope that can happen too.
Attacked. Gangsters don't do this in Russia. When criminal gangs fight, they don't touch children and women. It's men who fight among themselves. But those guys stooped as low as that. I think this is so... This looks so bad that it only reconfirms how low the political system of the United States has fallen.
Yeah, those people, the Democrats, were real dirty. And Putin probably said this to try to get in the good terms with Trump, because Trump, you know, is in power now. But I think it was true, and to go after the family members like they do, these assholes, is just horrible.
It is.
And remember they were, I think Rosie O'Donnell kept saying that Barron was autistic, and well, I think you told me that too, that he kind of almost got bullied for that because he wasn't autistic. He just didn't, had good manners. He just wouldn't really speak up because it wasn't his place to speak to the media.
Boy, her book was terrible.
That's what you told me.
I don't recommend anybody read that trash. Like, it was like the worst First Lady autobiography I've read. I haven't
Was it?
read many of them, but it was bad. It was just basically fluff of how perfect I am.
Mm-hmm.
And let me describe all the stuff. I said she should have just made a book where they took pictures of the things she did to the White House and maybe did some kind of coffee table book. Not try to tell us anything personal, because everything in there seemed real guarded. And it's like, why even write a book? Like, I get that you don't want to tell everything, but at the same time, it seems like you want to feel like you kind of know the person.
Right.
And I never really got that.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's what happened there.
If anything, I liked her less after reading her book. And usually it's like the opposite.
I
You like somebody more after you read the book.
do you see when he was trying to kiss her and he just liked on the cheek, and they don't really seem to be that close to me.
No.
And
Well, she tried to tell the story about that too, how he tried to grab her hand and she brushed it away. Like, and the story didn't make a lot of sense from what I remember. It was like she just wanted to walk by herself. I don't even remember. The book was so freaking boring. After a while, I just started speed reading through it because I wanted to finish it and see if anything good happened in it, and it didn't really. And then it ended with like Trump the first time he almost got assassinated.
yeah,
Like her talking about that, and I thought, boy, they had to rush that out because the
Right.
book came out in October and that happened in July, unless most of the book was already written. Some of the reviews said it almost seemed like AI wrote the book. Like they just had like AI like write her story.
Well, she probably had. I'm sure she had a ghostwriter.
Oh, I'm sure she did too.
But
it just wasn't a good book.
it seems like they could afford a better ghostwriter.
Because I read Nancy Reagan's book and I started reading Rosalind Carter's book. Rosalind Carter's book's really good.
Really.
It's one of those things where you feel like you kind of know him. She talks about the peanut farming
Yeah.
and how he was in the Navy and they stopped. He kind of quit his military career to go because his father got too ill. I think it was his father. And to save the family business because they had been doing that. And I don't know, it was kind of neat to read about people that were kind of like small business owners. And I'm not real far in it, but
Right.
it's way better than Melania's book.
Right.
Like, I don't know, her book's just freaking boring and it's real. It reminds me of the Brady Bunch movie. When Marcia, when Jen was like, I'm just so perfect at so many things. That's the vibe I got from Melania. Supposedly she was going to go to architecture school,
Yeah.
but then she got a chance to do modeling instead, so she decided to do that. And then she's like, I knew I would be good at whatever I did. And it's like, yeah, I get it's nice to have confidence, but you don't have to come off like a total narcissistic bitch. And that's kind of how the whole thing read to me. It was like Marcia Brady, like from the Brady Bunch movie, wrote a book about herself.
If you ever see like a couple that really loves each other, and you can almost see it. I think, and I know a lot of people get mad because she's Indian, but I think J.D. Vance and his wife do love each other.
Yeah.
And Reagan and Nancy really did.
Yeah.
That was obviously obvious. She was real protective of him. But I don't see that with Melania and Trump.
No.
She was basically, I think, an ornament for him.
Yeah.
Because he was a billionaire.
He was a
wanted
pocketbook for her.
and he wanted a pretty model, you know, from Eastern Europe. So that's kind of what it was. Because I heard, you know, in their term, she didn't have the office of the first lady. That was Ivanka in that office.
Yeah.
Which was strange. And Ivanka lived in New York City at the time, not the White House. So, not Ivanka, Melania. So that was strange too. And now I'm not saying it's super unusual because rumor has it for years, Bill and Hillary always lived separate.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Wouldn't you want to live separate from Hillary Clinton if you
I
were
would.
Bill?
I don't blame Bill on that.
You see that video where she's running her mouth and Bill just sat there looking like, I can't stand you, woman. Remember that? It was during the campaign.
He does.
And it's like, he's a scumbag, but at
He
least he's
is.
somewhat likable. Like, he could come in here and, like, hang out with us and play a board game, and you'd probably think, well,
He'd be
he's a
nice,
cool
yeah.
guy, even though he's, like, an oily
Yeah.
snake salesman. Or her, you know, she would just
Oh,
be grating and
yes.
annoying.
She'd just bring down any, like, we had a party, and say if we had a party in Amran, even at Amran, he'd be out there with beers.
Yeah.
He'd be hitting on the girls.
Right.
He'd just be right in his element. Hillary just be black cloud right on the place. Could you imagine inviting her to a Christmas party? It's like black cloud. Yeah, she's not a very pleasant woman. Even when she smiles, it looks forced and like an evil grin or
It
something.
does.
You know?
Oh, and that was another thing in Melania's book. She spent like a chapter talking about how pro-abortion she is, and even for
I was going to ask you about that.
up to the fucking 9th month, it sounded like, oh, late-term abort. We need to be empathetic to those people. I'm like, no, we don't. And she's like, most of the time people do that. It's because of health reasons. Like, no, it isn't, because usually they will do a C-section if the kid's far enough along. All those Kermit Gosnell murders were not because of, you know, I mean, he was performing like 5-6 month abortions. And, I watched a documentary about that too, and it was on the pro side of it. And one of the people that got the late term abortion, it was like this Hispanic couple, and I guess the baby was going to have some kind of defects where they thought the baby he probably wouldn't live very long if he's born anyway, but it's like, just let him be born then, or give him up for adoption. They have people that will help those kinds of kids if you don't want to. It's just real gruesome to me to think like, to do that.
Yeah,
you know, the fact she couldn't tell anything about herself in that book that seemed somewhat personal. But then you can go on about that. That seems like kind of a way to hurt Trump too, because there are people that are going to read that book. Well, I saw some of the reviews. Some of the people were bitching about it that were pro-life that saw that and were kind of grossed out. Right. And it's like, why did you even have to write that? Because even Nancy Reagan's book, I've heard somebody said all the first ladies have been pro-life, or I mean not pro-life, pro-choice since, I don't know, Betty Ford or something. They all, pretty much all of them. But she didn't talk about it in that book. Like, she never brought up abortion. So I don't even know why Melania felt the need to talk about that for a whole chapter of her book. The book was boring anyway, but...
Wasn't she pretty much a liberal, don't you think?
Probably. She's just a globetrotter.
Yeah.
Like, that's how Trump to lesser degree is too, but I think at least he, loves America.
Yeah, because she wasn't even from America.
And that was the thing that was kind of odd too. She grew up under communism, but they went on all these trips, and her dad collected very expensive cars. Like, he had a Maserati, and it's like, but they never really explained, like, well, how were you guys able to get around, you know, all that stuff? It didn't make sense to me, unless something was going on there.
They had connections or something like that.
And I wanted to like her. I did. I really did. It's like, oh, an attractive first lady that was a model that's like from another country. It's kind of neat. Right. And then you read it, and I liked her even less. I'm like, okay, she's probably what I thought she was, judging from this book.
Of the first ladies you read, who was your favorite? You said
I honestly haven't read that many, but I'm listening to a book where it talks about the different first ladies. Yeah. And this one goes back to early on. Out of the older ones, I kind of like Dolly Madison. They said she was kind of a partier. Her husband wasn't good in crowds. Right. Really. And she said she would invite people that were like maybe super rich, and then really poor people too, or people that just did civil service type work. Like the mailman might sit next to the banker. Like she tried to kind of include everybody, and they said she liked to party and do stuff. Yeah. Like all this stuff. She just seemed kind of cool. And then they said the other lady, was it Monroe's wife? James Monroe's wife? Was her name Martha? I can't remember now. But she was kind of the opposite of Dolly Madison. She was real kind of uptight about everything. And
I know Abigail.
Adam.
Yeah, she was pretty influential in politics.
They mentioned her too. She was. She would go to like meetings with him and stuff, kind of like Jill Biden did.
Yeah, she was obviously women back then couldn't be politicians or vote, but she was still influential with John Adams. And I think of everyone that was probably most helped the revolution happen is probably John Adams. George Washington, he was a great guy, but he wasn't really political. He was just like a big general everyone admired, but he wasn't there in the Congress that much in Philadelphia. It was John Adams.
Did you see the show about John Adams at HBO? It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty accurate.
He lived to be like 90-something years old.
Yeah, he did.
For back then, that's incredible.
Yeah, he was a farmer, and he his cousin was Sam Adams, was a real hothead revolutionary. And a lot of people don't realize, but John Adams, in the so-called Boston Massacre, I call it so-called because I actually sympathize with the British. What happened? They had soldiers or guarding a custom house at night, and there's kids and there's some rabble people from Sam Adams. They started to throw snowballs and rocks at the young guards that were British, and there was like a whole mob about to attack them, and the guards told them to stay back, and they kept coming at them, so they shot, and they killed like 5 or 6 Americans, and it was called the Boston Massacre. But you know who defended the commander? John Adams.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he got him off. He was their defense attorney. And it had really quieted it down after that until the Boston Tea Party thing.
Wasn't he related to John Quincy Adams too? Wasn't
was
that
his
his?
son.
That was his son.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I couldn't remember if it was
Yeah.
his son or his grandson.
Yeah, no, that was his son. He was John Quincy.
So his son was the president too.
Yeah, definitely. And Sam Adams, it was really interesting because even though he was a hothead that really stirred things up in Massachusetts, once the revolution got going and then you had the government, he really wasn't very effective I think he briefly was governor of Massachusetts, but he wasn't influential in politics anymore. He was more of just a rabble rouser, whereas John Adams was a little bit more level-headed about stuff like that too. So just a little revolutionary trivia. And I was telling that Ben Franklin, he was an old guy then, but he was already he was a lot of character. In France, all the women loved him. And he used to wear this coonskin hat to act like he was a frontiersman. And he never was. But they had this idea that all Americans were these frontiersmen fighting the Indians. And he lived like in Boston. And, he did it. So it was funny. He was a interesting character, that's for sure. Here's another thing. So we talked about Hillary potentially for the Democrats, and let me just show you one now here, and I'll show the audience here. Here it is. AOC knew Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez could run for president in 2028, according to The Hill. What's your thoughts about her?
We are about to enter a political period that will have consequences for the rest of our lives.
Why do people think she's attractive?
We are about to
because she's got big tits, I guess, and young.
Because her face is mid.
A political period that will have consequences for the rest of our lives.
People were rumored that she was pregnant, but I think she's just getting fat.
Cannot give up.
Yeah, she does look.
We now find ourselves.
Well, most Hispanic women, they kind of have their peak about 15 years of age, and then they just get.
Well, she's got money and she can afford.
Yeah,
good
she does.
food,
She
though.
looks a little better than most, and she dates a white guy.
In a time in history that has precedent, and we find ourselves, I believe, in a time where there are, let's say, peers in history of mass movements of people that mobilize to protect one another in times of fascism and authoritarianism. And this is the era that we are poised to enter. Donald Trump has talked about turning the military on U.S. citizens.
No, he hasn't. He's talked about using.
She's just
illegal
another. Do we have
aliens.
to listen to this? I can't hardly stand to listen to these people.
Yeah, okay. But my point was, what do you think her chances are in 2028? Do you think she'll be a candidate or no?
I mean, it's possible. They don't have a lot of good people.
I have a sense that the Democrats, there's going to be a push. Depends a lot on how the next 4 years go. Obviously, that's the caveat, right? But if things were as of today, it's not going to be Kamala. The party hates her now.
No.
It's not going to be Tim Walz. It's not going to be Hillary. It's not going to be AOC. It'll probably be someone like Josh Shapiro.
Or Gavin Newsom.
Maybe. He's even kind of slimy, though, and he has a California issue. So I don't think it'll be another woman. They've done 2 women now and lost both times with Hillary and
Yeah,
Kamala.
because there'll be a lot of stupid young women that vote for her if she ran.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be just like the Kamala thing all over again, I think.
Yeah. And here was some of that. I said we gave thanks that this guy's going to get deported, but we give thanks to God that you're getting deported. He won't, but this is Louis. We can't share Thanksgiving. You voted to deport people who look like me. Well, I don't think that deportation is based on how you look. I think it's based on if you're an illegal, right? That's my
The fact that
understanding.
this is a real news story is just pathetic.
This is USA Today.
I know
yeah.
it's pathetic because it's not even true.
Why in the world should we be expected to carve some turkey with friends or family who voted against their existence?
Because are you an illegal dipshit?
Well, and why do they think they can't have an existence if they live with their own people?
Guess not.
I think they can only exist around white people. Otherwise, they're eliminated.
Yeah.
It shows how much they think of their own people, right? It's like the greatest horror is living around their own people. It just, it's like, why should we have them around? So there was that usual, there was some of that this year. I didn't see much, but of course I wasn't on much because we were busy. I didn't see much the usual crying about the Indians for Thanksgiving or anything like that. Did you see any of that? Or
No, I haven't. Like I said, I haven't been online much though.
It seemed like in the past years there was more of that than there is now. So I don't know. So there hasn't been too much on that. So all right. So let's see here. I want to just show another story. It was kind of funny here. Thank you guys for being here. Be sure to like and subscribe. I do appreciate this. Pro-crime liberal activist has crime meltdown after her phone was stolen by a group of homeless men. So let's look at this here.
Oh, I saw this.
Basically, I am not, if you stole it from rich scum, by all means keep it and sell it, but I'm like a really, and I want to say, if you guys come up with my iPhone, I will give you more than, I'm an honest person.
I wouldn't. I'd call the cops.
I know. It's so funny.
Why do you have to kiss ass to somebody that stole from you?
They don't
so
give a
stupid.
shit. They don't give a shit. It's just so bizarre how they look at this sort of stuff. Like,
oh, they're just people that need to buy booze, so they stole my phone.
They don't give a crap about her little crime story. She's trying to say, I'm one of the good people, so please don't sell.
They don't care.
Steal
they
and
would
sell
steal
my
from a 5-year-old.
They will. They'll steal from their mother. In fact, they do. That they really don't give a damn about all of that. And I was telling Sasha before we actually came in here, a little D&D stuff, because Elon, who knows if he's serious, he said this about MSNBC, but he was talking about buying Hasbro. That's a company that does a lot of gaming.
Hasbro? Like that? Wow.
HASB, yeah, they own Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, they own My Little Pony too.
Oh, yeah. And it's just a thing here. The people that own now Dungeons and Dragons, they hate Gary Gygax, the guy that actually created it back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Because, if you were, let's say, a character that was male, you'd have a strength bonus over a female, and orcs were evil, and that's racist to say that and had low IQ. And so they make this all like trying to be politically correct. So it upset Elon Musk. He said he just may actually just buy the firm then. I wrote, because I used to play Dungeons and Dragons, it doesn't necessarily have to mean anything though, because you just get the rule set, and with the group you play with, you don't have to put like transgender elves in there or something like that. You can make your own story. So I don't really see the big issue. One of the big things I noticed, Sasha, then when I was in school, I there were nerds. I was aware of some.
Yeah, you were one.
No, I was a Chad, but I was aware of some. I was a Chad that did play Dungeons and Dragons. But the point is, the nerds were kind of smart kids that were kind of shy, intellectual. But they've really changed the definition of that to be like child predators that wear a dress or something.
Right.
It really has happened. We knew a guy that we used to know, I won't say his name, but he hung around a bunch of weirdos. He kind of disowned you or just didn't want to be around us anymore.
Which is funny because he used to be more right-wing back in the day.
Yeah, but he was like in some degenerate thing like that with some game group. And
well,
it's
they
just
weren't
weird
a
how that happened.
And then we had another friend that lives in Illinois that went to some gaming thing. Like some guys like, yeah. And the guy got naked and they had a dungeon and everything. And it's like, you imagine what is up with gaming people being all weird?
And you think like it's not like this sexy porn video where these people in polycules or whatever are like really hot, sexy people. They're usually these real obese things that you don't even know what they are. It's just gross.
Well, I was listening to Kino Casino clips, and they had
Yeah.
a thing about Ricada and all that stuff that's going on, and
Yeah.
I don't think that they're all that happy anymore after all this stuff went down.
Mhm.
It sounds like that April girl's a psycho, and he probably wrecked his marriage over all that.
That happens to a lot of people that
Get big
yeah, they just go into a lot of
problems.
I don't know why, drugs or sexuality, or it happened with Ricada. It happened with Richard Spencer, where he melted down. It's happening now with Fuentes. It's just something I think is hard to keep level-headed or something.
Well, especially if you're young too. It seems like,
Yeah.
of course, Ricada's not young. They're like close. I think they're around my age.
No, and Spencer wasn't super
Yeah.
young, so I don't know what happens to these people, and it's sad to see because I'm not against. I like the old Fuentes. He had issues, but he seemed level-headed and all about let's have good optics and all that type of stuff, and he was about Christianity, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. And then it took this weird turn,
Well, that's what always happens with these people. It seems like.
that, women are garbage. They need to be sexually assaulted. And if you want to marry and have sex with a woman, you're gay. It's just bizarre. The whole thing went weird. So,
Well, all of that stuff. Like Nick
Yeah.
Ricada, they said he used to be like this Christian family man, homeschooled their kids and all this, to doing cocaine, and his daughter tests positive for coke and
yeah.
ends up in a polycule. And
I never even knew what a polycule was.
I didn't
before
either. I didn't know what
Ricada.
that was until recently.
I mean, I've heard of
I knew-
polygamous,
right.
but I never heard of polycule. What does that mean exactly? Just a bunch of degenerates have sex with
I
each other?
guess usually the people that get in these are not the most attractive. Like that douchebag that I used to be friends with.
Mhm.
Like he had a picture on Facebook of the people that were in the polycule that he played games with, and they were
Mhm.
all like obese, like very obese.
Yeah. Hey, did you see, and I'm kind of white-pilled, and I don't know if it's Trump or it's just something broke. I think 2020 was peak woke. You remember we worshiped that drug dealing or drug taking George Floyd.
Yeah.
And then here's a recent ad. I thought,
Oh, the coke ad?
no, this other, let's take a look at this here.
Got it last week. I think I know what it is. Are you serious? Oh, guys, thank you. The color that you wanted. Did you know this is
Look at, he's got like a white family, a white wife, and a white daughter. She's blonde even.
John, listen.
Light the fire. You place the flowers in the vase that you bought today.
Look at, he's a white.
He's so excited. Here you go, Haley.
Happy birthday. Look at the picture of me and you, Daddy. Look at the moon.
Because usually when they have one of these, they'll have a white woman and a black guy or something.
Always, usually.
Or even when it got worse, sometimes they have homosexuals.
Daddy, tickle me. I am a robot.
So I won't go through it all, but that looked like a pretty good ad to me. So that was good. And I wanted to show a part of one. This was, let's see if I can see this here. Here it is. I enjoyed this ad too. And again, they had an abbreviated ad for TV, but they did a whole, I'll just show you this. This is the Chevy. Doesn't it look kind of almost, I mean, we have
How are you
more
holding
models
up?
here,
I know, it just isn't the same without him, is it?
Dad loved the holiday party.
So, Kevin, which colleges are you applying to? Are you looking into scholarships?
Yeah, I really haven't thought about it.
What do you
Hey,
mean?
Kevin, I hear your sister's
guys,
done really well at state. Gonna apply to state like your sister?
Between doing law and an MBA. I mean, I just gotta see where
Can
my
you
own
hear what
path
it's
takes
saying?
me.
You gonna rescue that boy?
I hear this.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I can hear this.
Hey, Dad.
Accounting, Kevin. It's gotta be accounting. Such great job security, and it's easy. You just gotta balance everything out. Come to me later, and I want to hear about those applications, okay? Yeah, no problem. Hey, how are your SATs?
It's like a guy, you know, in a young man, pickup truck, they're not sewing. I won't see it all, but I know you're scrolling on something there, so.
I hate watching ads.
So I will keep it short. So yeah, but I think it was, do you think there's a change now we're seeing in industry? So
I think so. Well,
yeah.
the DEI is going away. A
A lot of it is,
anyway.
yeah. And
When Walmart does it, you know that's a good thing.
right. The other thing that happened when we were out the other day, we went to Huntsville and
Went to the animal shelter.
yeah, and we saw a husky and it was like, but huskies
No,
were
that was in Fayetteville though, not in Huntsville.
right, but whatever,
Yeah.
either way, it doesn't matter. But the husky is, it's just such a high maintenance dog.
It's too bad.
I know. There was also, I think the one in Huntsville, a mountain cur dog.
Yeah,
But there were dogs that were kind of bred and raised and invented in kind of these parts or Appalachia, you know,
they had the
the
cutest
haulers.
kitten.
Yeah, they had
I
a
wish
lot of
we
cute
would have
stuff.
got him, and they said it was only $20 to adopt her. She was this tiny little gray
Mm-hmm.
cat that was very shy, and she came right up to me and let me pet on her. I knew she
Yeah.
wanted to come home.
Oh, here's a good question by Louis Barrow. You want to take this here?
Who wins in the octagon cage? Melania Trump versus Michelle Obama? Probably Michelle Obama.
Yeah, she's got
She's
that
a big
African
woman.
strength, and she is a
She
big woman.
does.
So yeah, that could be because
No, I'm not going to read her book, and I'm not going to read Hillary Clinton. Even though the Hillary Clinton thing might be amusing just because of all the lies in it.
Yeah.
Like, it might be like, can you spot all the lies in this book? I'm
Right.
more going older. I want to read like about the older first ladies more than the current
Right.
ones. Because I don't care. I'm not going to read anything Joe Biden writes either. But Betty Ford and Pat Nixon and all the 70s and
hmm
I don't care, I guess. I don't think Jackie Kennedy, did she write a book? I don't know. That might be a newer thing where all the
Probably.
first ladies wrote a book. It's probably won't be truthful either. Like, yeah, my husband was a scumbag, you know, that like knocked up, or not knocked up, but had sex with,
Well,
you know, teenage girls in the White House. and-
Yeah, that book we listened to on tape, assuming that was it,
Ask Not, Maureen
Yeah,
McCallahan. Or was
about-
that her name? Maureen McCallahan.
about the Kennedys.
McCallahan, I think.
Is Jackie really wanted, even though she knew the difference, she really wanted to keep the image up of
Mhm.
Camelot and everything being really perfect.
Yeah.
So she probably wouldn't have talked about, you know, all his affairs and all that type of
No.
stuff. He was supposed to be as bad as Bill Clinton.
If not worse.
Yeah, he was pretty crazy about that.
Mhm.
So, and I think we'll wrap up here a little early. I know Satcha looks a little tired here, so
Yeah, I'm trying not to be tired. It's just been
No,
like a
that's
busy. I got up
understandable.
early this morning. Mosca came over early. We went to the movies. The movie's almost
Yeah.
3 hours long. And then I came here, we spent like 3 hours, or I did. Paul kept taking breaks. Every like 5 minutes he'd take a food break. And so he helped maybe 15 minutes of the 3
No, I
hours
did
it
longer
took me
than
to
that,
do the
but-
tree. So, and then I was playing my game and I kind of lost track of time and I'm just kind of worn out.
yeah, there was a lot because we had to get the Christmas stuff from the attic, which so crawl up there and pull that up and pull it down, and
It looks good though. I put all my
It
Santa
does.
bears in
The
front of
tree
them. They're
looks
so
really
cute
nice,
because
so-
next year when Buddy's living here, I can't do that because Buddy will
Right.
eat them. Buddy chews up toys like a dog.
yeah,
Like just guts things. I have to buy him dog toys I got him a Christmas present, but I might get him something else. And I got Button a sweater.
She looks
And
cute.
she's so
I
cute.
posted it on X, so you
She
guys
seems to
probably
like
saw
her
it.
sweater too, and I got her a raincoat too when it rains.
Let me
but we
see
haven't
if I
gotten
have that
rain.
up really
Yeah,
quick.
show the picture of Button in her sweater.
Yeah. Let me see, media. Where is that?
I don't see her.
Yeah, I think I have it here somewhere. I don't know. They changed it now or something. You know, it used to just show your media
You'd have to
posts.
scroll down and find it.
Well,
What day
yeah,
did I
it used
bring
to
her the
always-
sweater? That was, God, 4 or 5 days ago.
Was it that long ago?
Well, I came over on Wednesday and stayed the night. So I bought the sweater on Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah, it had to be.
Yeah, she
Let me see
really.
if I retweeted it. I don't remember if I did because I don't tweet as much as you.
So it's easier to find the tweet.
Yeah.
I used to just look in media and come up right away. So,
Let's see.
oh, here's this.
Oh, I did retweet it.
Oh, okay.
Do you
Let
want me to just screenshot it and give it to you, or?
No, I'll just look at your stuff here. I just
Okay.
wanted to show you this. This is the wife Jack that got him all upset or whatever.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
Just-
a normal woman, aside from the wants to stay at home mom, because a lot of women don't want to do that, but everything else seems fairly normal.
Well, they got mad also because she likes Starbucks and you're not
Because
supposed
they
to
have
go
good
there.
coffee.
Yeah, but
I don't drink it because it's too rough on my stomach, but it tastes good.
yeah. All right, let me just, if you retweeted it, let me go to your
Yeah,
Twitter
I
because I
retweeted
can
it. It's
find
pretty
yours
easy to
here.
find. I might want to get Button another sweater too.
Okay, Sasha. Oop. See if I can. There you are. I am following you, so that's good. Oh yeah, you did this, so that's pretty good. So yeah, this is Button and her little green sweater. She's such a ninny dog. She got scared of the Christmas tree.
Oh, she was quivering when we were taking the tree down. I've never seen a dog quiver over a tree.
And here she is. She's her little sweater. And this isn't like we didn't stage this. She really likes to watch TV.
She does.
And she likes to get up close, and she really likes, she looks for dogs, and she gets real mad when she sees a dog, but she'll also get mad at other animals too. She usually doesn't get mad at humans, though, in the shows. So if there's a show with a human, she'll watch a bit, but then she'll get bored, fall asleep. But if there's a dog, she'll bark until she collapses. She just gets real upset about a dog. So
she does.
That was her little thing. And then always to end the show, I just have a little funny. I don't know if you saw this, where dogs know their names. So let me just show you guys this here. Okay, let's see here. Dogs reacting to their names being called.
Bailey!
Oh, good dance.
That's an ugly dog.
Yeah. Cute little thing, though.
Ugly little thing. That's a cute dog.
Oh, look how happy that dog is. That looks like a
I
cat.
like Hara.
Yeah.
Read! Read!
He dances like Button. Aw.
Tucker! Tucker!
Aw.
You think they named him after Tucker Carlson?
I don't know. That's pretty cute, though. So, yeah, that's a dog thing. So, guys, thank you. It's a little bit different tonight because Thanksgiving weekend. I will be back with my political shows next Monday. And this Sunday, we will have the roundtable. So, at Sunday evening this time, because I think last time was Sunday at noon. So, it'll be Sunday at 7 will be the roundtable. So,
7 at night.
yeah. And so we'll go chill a little bit. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving and a good Black Friday if you do a lot of shopping. I know Sasha did some shopping. He did some Black Friday
Not
shopping.
today. I did most of my stuff online before Black Friday.
Yeah.
That's how I got that Switch. And now they're sold out, so I'm glad I got it.
Yeah, it's funny how the Black Friday gets earlier than.
Well, I don't even know when Black Friday is anymore. It's like they used to have a sale bill, and you could look at the flyer like online and see, okay, this is what's going to be on sale. Only a few stores had that, and then some was like daily deals. Amazon too, the same shit was on sale all week.
Yeah. Yep. So, guys, thank you, and I will see you for the regular show next Monday. So, talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.